The reason I got you to ride this horse is so you get the variety of horses and you can learn from each one. So what are the main things to pick up from this horse is the key points of you want the horse to go straight on a regular canter and stay dead straight in between hand and leg at each fence. Not that you're dropping the shoulder and letting the horse run out. As I said before when we set up the exercise, it was 4 strides to the first fence, 5 strides to the second fence. What you tended to do is come very, very quiet to the flanks and then end up having to rush to get your 4 strides, then being out of control to get your 5 strides. So what you need to learn to do with your horses is learn to stay on a consistent canter pace, so you know what canter pace works for you. So if you want to get down there on 4 strides, you know that you have to move on a little bit or slow down a little bit to get what stride you need. Overall, this is very good for your education to ride something different, and you did a very good job, because this is a green horse and your main concern is to get it over and under the fillers, but what we're looking for now is straightness and confidence in the canter. If you watch this training session, it highlights your problems very clearly. If you watch the canter, sometimes it's never forward enough and sometimes it is forward enough, so very inconsistent. So what you're looking for is the horse to follow the contact like it just did then, which was a good example over that upright, to and from the fence, so the canter stays consistent. If you notice, he jumps the upright well, then he goes around the corner and he's all over the place, and then he has the front rail off the oxer. The reason he has the front rail off the oxer is because if you notice your position now, is you're on the back of the saddle with not enough leg, he's swishing his tail, so he's not coming through his body. What he's got to do is follow the contact and stay consistent around the corner and keep taking the canter forwards. Not that you're hanging off the back of the saddle with no weight in your lower leg. That was better there, he made the distance for you and carried on keeping the canter going forwards after the fence. So overall, what we're looking for is that you're staying up the front of the saddle as much as possible, that you're not sat on the back of the saddle, on the back of your bum, and you're following the contact with short reins and the horse is taking you forwards from fence to fence, not that you're having to chase it. Overall, it is getting better. I know it's a big ask today because you're jumping the bigger fences, but at the end of the day, it's now down to you to prove that you can do this, because I feel that you're ready for this, and you've got to get away from jumping the smaller fences and start asking the question, because once again, you and the horse are now ready. This pole exercise really highlights where you have to go with your canter. If you notice, the horse has got to keep a regular canter over each pole, so the canter pace stays the same. What you tend to struggle with around the course of fences is the canter gets longer and stronger as the course goes on. So as you go over each pole, we're looking for a little half halt over each pole, almost like you've got a little break or a little piece of string on the front of her hoof. So every time her front foot hits the floor, you're saying steady, so the canter stride stays the same. Not that she's getting longer and longer through her canter. So around the course of fences, you can eventually keep the canter so it stays nice and level and it stays nice and consistent. The last round you do as you're jumping around the course of fences is very good. The jump is very good, and the canter stride and the canter rhythm is almost consistent from the start to the end. So overall, that's improving, but the main thing that you need to improve on is the canter stride in between the fences. So if you use the pole exercise is a very good exercise because it highlights how much control you've got of your canter. So if you have 3 or 4 poles up the centre of your school, set at 7 yards in between each pole, you're looking to get 1 canter stride in between each pole. What you'll find is, as you go further down the poles, the canter will get closer to each pole because the canter stride is getting quicker. So if you can keep an even stride in between 4 poles, set at 7 strides or 7 yards, then the canter is working for you.